1, 2, 3.
When I was a kid, I'd dress up like my heroes in history. For the most part, bodies like mine would be on the sidelines. But when I heard this story, I felt my bones shake. I felt like a man destined for greatness, a man who could get himself out of any fix, reinvent himself, work the system, make the damn system, a man making history. Who cares about his friends, his team, a man on a mission, who got us to the moon with a little help from his friends. I mean, have you ever dressed like a man on a mission? People treat you different. Me? Can we trust them? I'm wearing those shoes. Trust Jimmy Shoes? Space. Joking. Converse.
Tonight, you will hear the story of brave men. Tonight, we share a story in the history books that is strange but true. But how did it happen? How did a German rocketeer become accepted in the South, beloved in a tiny American town, and become world-renowned for shooting Americans into outer space?
But to tell this story, we need the help of our friend.
In history books, tonight's presentation is in New York City on July 5th, 2024. The actors in this play are, we call our names, Sarah, Kendyl,
Kelley,
Lynn, Johanna,
Shay.
Oh, when writing this play, our writer got 2 phone calls at the same time.
1,
Do not fuck with my heroes.
2.
Nail that son of a bitch to the wall. Please welcome Dr. Wernher von Braun.
Don't tell me that a man doesn't belong out there. Man belongs wherever he wants to go, and he'll do plenty well when he gets there. The purpose of this presentation today is to prepare you to go to Mars. Do you think it's impossible, sir? Friend, I've learned to use the word impossible with the greatest caution. In the future, the dead will join the living.
In the history books, 1945, in a secret mission called Operation Paperclip, America brought over 50 German scientists who served under Hitler making V2 rockets.
These V2 rockets are rockets that could travel at
3,500 miles per hour.
Carrying a 2,200-pound warhead.
for a range of
200 miles, all created by
Wernher von
Braun.
Called a silent bomb, this V2 rocketry
a rocket originally built for space travel.
was used to destroy the Allies and the Americans. But at the end of the war, when Germany was losing, Wernher saved his team of German scientists from being killed by the Secret Service for their knowledge.
Thank you, Wernher von Braun.
He hid them away. While other Germans were prosecuted for war crimes, Wernher struck a deal with President Truman to bring the 50 scientists here.
Thank you, Truman.
The 50.
Roll call.
William A. Mrazek.
The first thing we noticed when we arrived in Huntsville, Alabama, it was green here, like home.
Arthur Rudolph.
He kept us together. He left no one behind.
He never lies.
Wernher just tells the story a different way.
Helmut Hoelzer.
He got us into space.
He is the father of space travel, awarded
The President's National Medal of Science in America.
The Knight's Cross of the War Merit Cross with sword.
A state decoration of Nazi Germany. He landed us on the moon.
And he's damn good at making bombs.
In addition to the team, 10 years later in America.
Heinz Hermann Koelle.
Wernher, this time, tell them.
Friend.
A friendly reminder, we have limited time before we launch.
In our limited time together, we prepare you for your ascent into space. The future does not happen without the imagination. Open your minds.
Things might get symbolic.
We ain't doing accents, okay?
But we might swear.
To reach for the stars, you have to know where you stand. Our town, Huntsville, Alabama. We assimilate. We live here. The lake at night, birds at sunrise, the breeze, the mountains.
Wernher.
Huntsville, population 15,000. Watercress, capital of the world.
Tell them how the rockets were made.
Rocket City.
Who made the rockets?
The South.
The names. Wernher.
Time isn't linear.
In the history books, our training in Huntsville, Alabama at Redstone Arsenal begins on this day.
Neither is space travel.
April 6th, 1955.
To go forward, we go back. VB to HHK, we make fiction a reality.
Fiction or reality?
The only way out is up, kid.
The day these two men plotted to go to Mars.
I just loved making rockets.
United States, Huntsville, Alabama, The Office.
Hello? Hi? Hello?
Oh, hey, we don't need a janitor right now.
There's a mistake.
Security keeps sending janitors up here. We use a lot of paper, we get the message, but we don't need a pickup right now. Thank you!
I'm not. Is Dr. Von Braun here?
Do I look like a secretary?
Oh, no, sorry. Hoelzer, right?
Yeah, right.
Gott sei Dank. Wo ist Dr. Von Braun?
Cut that the hell out. English, we only speak English here.
Sorry.
Wait, you that cousin of his? He and Magnus? Can't handle Prussians.
Oh, okay, well,
You don't look related, you're short.
I'm not. Am I?
His office is right there.
I guess he's.
It's 12:45, it's lunch, he's out, everyone's out.
Can I set up here?
It's a free country.
It's hot.
It's hot everywhere, it's Alabama.
Why do they call it Huntsville?
They named it after a pioneer. They do that here.
Like dictators?
I was messing with you, I know who you are.
You do?
You're the pilot.
He told you about me.
No, he never tells me anything unless you need to know. Or he's slightly tipsy. I read the letter on Wernher's desk asking you to come.
So you know who I am?
You helped Wernher get the Mars project published.
Yes, well, it's Project Mars in the States. I wrote Dr. Von Braun telling him I was reforming the Society for Space Travel in Berlin, and he said he had this amazing book, and I had this German publisher friend, also a pilot, and then I ended up helping with some of the designs and the technical index. Now, Americans are interested in a new edition, though they seem more interested in the technical calculations. But it's such a beautiful story.
Sure.
You read it?
Uh-huh.
Right, there in the opening. No wars, no dictators, peace, right? That the whole book is about striving for a better world. A team working together against all odds on their first expedition to the Red Planet. But then they meet the Martians, led by their leader, Elon.
Elon, that's a messed up name.
Neat, right?
So you don't name my kid that, sure.
It's really a message or metaphor for world peace, if you think about it.
Totally.
Oh, I am so glad you liked it.
I didn't.
Oh,
Yeah, have you ever read anything other than nonfiction?
of course. Jules Verne. Jules Verne.
Uh-huh.
I get it. You don't like science fiction.
Oh, I love sci-fi. I eat, live, and breathe sci-fi, but sci-fi stories have a competent narrative, action, sex, good writing,
Okay, that's.
like Buck Rogers.
It's a technical tale. The fiction is to help you understand how we'll get to Mars.
Yeah, the tech index was great, though I have some differences of opinion. You know Buck Rogers?
He's got a ray gun and he's on children's lunchboxes.
That's the one!
I can't believe this will be the first time I meet him in person.
Buck Rogers?
Wernher.
Well, I'm sure it'd be a metaphor for world peace.
I had to come.
Free Germany is not all it's cracked up to be.
I believe in the sanctions. I believe we deserve to pay the price. Don't you?
I'm an American now.
Operation Paperclip. You were there at the start.
Don't.
Peenemünde, the first V2 rocket testing site on the Baltic Sea, the birthplace of rocketry.
We don't.
I followed everything.
That was a long time ago.
All you
Stop.
Peenemünders did.
Stop! We don't mention that kind of stuff in the office.
Oh God, right. Is it
Don't ask if a room is bugged, not even in America. Jesus, how old are you?
35?
I'm sorry I said Jesus. Some people here find that offensive.
I've been in awe of you since I was 20.
My analog computer, you want to see it?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Right? Drink.
I'm okay.
It's not juice.
Oh,
It's booze.
no thanks. Wait, why?
We're all a few days away from a pink slip.
Pink slip?
We're on the verge of losing our jobs. Welcome!
But
You know, this isn't time for your electric toys, Hoelzer. He's called at 2 o'clock.
For the mythological satellite.
For the satellite. I'm not sure
I
why.
know, Mrazek. Maybe because your pressurized tanks blow up every prototype we've tested.
I never.
Blow things up, yeah.
You're the one who made that monstrosity.
It's called a microwave, Willie.
You set the kitchen on fire.
Mine is better than Raytheon.
What a waste.
I saved us $1,200.
pressured aluminum tanks. That's terrific.
Who let the janitor up?
I'm not a janitor. Look, what you said about losing jobs.
Everyone is looking for other work.
What? Why?
Rudolph, he's very particular. Don't you know you should wear a suit to an interview?
Interview?
What's that?
That's Herr von Braun's 1 o'clock.
Hello. Good one. You're Arthur Rudolph.
You're at my desk.
Oh, it was empty.
I came to the office to work. I go home. I do not leave a mess. Sit down.
Dr. von Braun hired me. I have a contract.
Von Braun only works with those he trusts. He trusts me to make sure you can do this work. So I ask a question, you answer, or you walk out the door, say goodbye, get back on a plane, and go home to...
The Free City of Danzig. I mean, what is. I went to school in Berlin. I just graduated.
You're the pilot, Luftwaffe.
Drafted. I don't believe in military action.
He's going to want charts.
Are you getting a pink slip?
Excuse me?
Is the program in trouble? Von Braun asked me here last year.
Because you helped Wernher with that book, Project Mars. I read it.
What did you think?
A Jules Verne ripoff, didn't they say?
No, it's a beautiful story about a team that works towards a common goal.
Can't handle criticism.
Why would Dr. von Braun bring me here if the program is failing?
Can't control emotions.
I've been on planes for almost 20 hours. I came right here. My wife, our 1-year-old son, and 6-month-old daughter are at a hotel. We have no idea where we are staying. I've been stood up. This is ridiculous.
Wernher believes you are the right man.
Right man for what?
Draw me the lunar roving vehicles that you helped Wernher develop in your book.
But you're the one who knows more than me. You invented the rocket car for Max Valier. You're the master of liquid propellants.
That's because my previous boss, Max Valier, died testing liquid rockets. I perfected his method because we are liquid men, and we fight with the army and their commitment to ineffective, solid propellants every day, because the brass think they know everything. They have not had their boss die in their arms. But when Max died in my arms, he died a happy man because what we did still worked. So, Rocketeer, show me something that doesn't blow up. Show me something that works.
Rudolph hands Koelle the marker. He looks to the white back wall, which is illuminated, a glittering white space of possibilities. Koelle goes to the board, but stops, frozen.
Gentlemen, Heinz Hermann Koelle in the flesh.
Thank you so much for taking a chance on bringing a stranger here.
A stranger? We've been writing letters back and forth to each other for 5 years. VB to HHK.
HHK to VB.
Why are you late this time?
This time? That's hardly fair.
Hounded by reporters?
One reporter from the Huntsville Times hardly counts. Didn't my secretary update you about my flight from New York?
You flew to New York for lunch?
Time magazine. The committee was meeting for
You
Man of the
flew to New
Year.
York?
You can't
For
turn that
lunch?
down. Maria pushed for the 4 seasons.
We're
My
coming
salary.
back. Sure, okay, right.
Being on the plane. Peanut?
One day, Herr Dr. von Braun, you'll gain a sense of it.
What's that?
Time. And if you ask me, bringing this kid over was a waste of it. He won't last one day.
Herr Dr. von Braun.
Call me Wernher, please. Oh, you brought your own copy of the Mars Project. Say, partner, what you think about your boss being the first man on Mars?
Golly, well, you're the fellow who got us here safely on those red sands, but now this planet is mine.
Sorry, I was late.
You're really on the committee for Time magazine?
Yes! To pick Man of the Year. A pretty dull committee, but there was this charming young man. He had a brother, pilot in the war. He has a lot of brothers, Bobby and Ted. Reminds me of my family. Of course, his brother was on a mission to blow up our V2, so our side shot his brother down. Technically, he died due to a mechanical failure. Sad. Huh.
What?
You're taller in person than I thought.
Apparently, I meet no one's expectations. Wernher, you brought me out to build a satellite, but your men are talking about being fired.
Nerves. You're the first of our new recruits. Successor to Operation Paperclip. Generals are awful at naming things.
But the satellite, what's the news?
It isn't bad.
Good.
It isn't good. The Americans pit all the branches of the military against each other. The Army, the Navy, the Air Force, each division is fighting for their own contracts to get us into space.
But we Germans are employed by the Army.
Correct.
What's our proposed satellite called?
Orbiter. The Navy's proposed satellite is called Vanguard, but we'll win the contract. We're launching prototypes for Orbiter now. We've even got instruments to go on board to measure cosmic rays.
But I hear you can't even get a prototype off the ground.
Yet.
Your own team doesn't want me here.
I left those letters on my desk. It was Hoelzer who found them, didn't he? Lovable scamp. And if I didn't let Rudolph interview you, I doubt you'd be friends.
I don't know about that. Wait, if I'm the first member of the team since...
Ooh, were they jealous?
Of course. You've been working with them since the war.
And Buckby, our press agent, briefed you.
Yes, but
We will be deported if favor turns against us. The public knows we were German scientists forced to work in the war for the other side. They don't know we were brought here in secret. Here, we do not speak of them.
I just want to get us into space.
Ha, good man. Come on, we're late for your presentation.
Presentation?
How else are you gonna lead the committee?
Project Slug. They are awful at names. I can't.
I stay here in Germany. I can't make rockets. I'll die. Those are your words. That's what you wrote me. No rockets can be made in Germany. The whole country has been sanctioned because of the war. You go back, you and your family will be living in the Stone Age.
What if I make a mistake?
The only mistake is not taking the opportunity handed to you.
It's a test.
Isn't everything?
Heinz Hermann Koelle. I just arrived. I was invited by Dr. von Braun and Mr. Rudolph. So I thought I'd start with,
Why is a janitor leading the meet?
I'm Heinz Hermann Koelle. I'm part of your team and I'm leading today's presentation. When I turned 12, in Danzig, things were changing. My grandmother took me to the library to cheer me up, and there I saw it. Ways of Spaceflight by Hermann Oberth, our grandfather of rocketry. When I read this book, I couldn't pull it away. I was sucked into the Oberth
Effect, sure.
the urge to explore what makes us human. Yet there are people who don't believe in the importance of exploring space. With so many problems on Earth today, like poverty, inequality, communism, but space exploration is crucial to man's survival. Just a few years ago, a scientist gave a lecture about the dangers of carbon dioxide on our planet.
This is the climate science thing?
It's important.
There is already an environmental breakdown on our planet. Space is about tomorrow, but we're also about making sure there is a tomorrow.
Dystopian. Practical.
If we can populate space, other planets, whatever problems happen on Earth, food scarcity, natural disasters, it allows us a chance to keep people safe. So when I was shipped back home after the war, I went to the university and found that book again. Started the Rocket Society back up, and there I learned how Wernher tested velocity by strapping tiny mice in little rockets.
That's my legacy.
I learned about all of you. This presentation is entitled, How to Put a Man in Space and Keep Him There to Get to Mars. Names are hard. Now, I know everyone is a little on edge about our satellite orbiter being approved.
Before the Soviets win and take over the free world as the Americans,
He's right.
it's gonna be a disaster if they do.
The answer is us. A bunch of kids who played with rockets on the launch pad. When Dr. von Braun and I were exchanging letters, we came up with a game. Like Jules Verne, predicting the future, allows us to make fiction a reality. So, predict with me. This is about after we get orbiter approved. What we'll need for true space exploration. We need to develop the design of a larger rocket to carry a heavy load. Men and lunar vehicles. Dr. von Braun brought me out here because of the kinds of technology I can create. Dr. von Braun heard of it 5 years ago at a conference.
What are you drawing?
I named it the Kudo-Ossen Station,
It's a space station.
which we can get out there sooner than we think. Pick a landing target.
Venus!
Don't be a smartass.
Can't handle the heat, huh?
The moon!
Good example. Dr. von Braun has gotten me up to speed with the 3 options being discussed for landing and assembly options. Direct descent.
Yeah, stacking everything up in one rocket with one direct shot. Sure, that's an option if you're an idiot.
Lunar orbit rendezvous has its selling points. But Dr. von Braun for this team favors Earth orbit rendezvous. And so do we, because
It's the only method that allows us to conduct round-trip human flights because we assemble everything in Earth orbit.
And build your space station.
correct. This is the only landing approach that gets us a permanent presence in space, allows flexibility for trips farther away, Mars.
Always been a Mars man myself.
This is a waste of time, and it's running out. Half of the other German scientists, not our rocket men, but dozens,
Fled with their secrets to the Russians.
At least 5 of Mrazek's cousins.
Luckily, they're morons.
Well, those morons had their first successful nuclear weapon test 6 years ago. The Russians have all they need to blast us off the face of the earth.
And take over. All of us here now know how these commies work firsthand.
They get to space first, we're sitting ducks.
The Americans.
They have unleashed the bomb, but now it belongs to us all. We not only have to get into space, but make sure there is still an Earth to come back to.
How can we if they fire us?
Quiet.
You're on edge because your jobs are threatened. But we all have children. I have a young son and daughter. I can't go to them and my wife and tell them I failed.
We get this satellite right, the Americans will offer us a permanent contract. Will belong.
Belong. The Americans are in charge. We can't look at classified documents.
We can now. Going forward, these design meetings will be closed. They will be just us Germans, just us rocket men. That I have finally cleared with the Americans. We get Orbiter through, then we create an organization dedicated to space exploration and
Put a man in space and keep him there.
An organization outside of the military. What are you planning, Wernher?
we have a way of working together as a team that no one else has. We stay together, we save our jobs, we win.
The answer is us. Members of our team are all over the country now.
Curtigoose is at Cape Canaveral. Our man at Rocketdyne.
And now Kohler.
It starts with Orbiter.
Orbiter.
Will be explorers, the future today.
Thank you, brother.
Was it?
Next time, wear a suit.
Suits are expensive, and with the inflation back home,
You did great. Thank you, friend.
a Chrysler.
The nuclear missiles we've been contracted to make are with Chrysler.
The car company? How?
My brother Magnus runs Chrysler.
Prussians.
Let's drive. Huntsville, the essentials. The town hall, the observatory. Rudolph leads the astronomy club. Don't tell him but it's really a group effort. The mountain, Butler High School. We're all a part of the Huntsville Orchestra, which meets there, though Mrazek is tone deaf. Don't tell him, it'll hurt his feelings. I play piano.
You're good?
Magnificent. You'll join us on the boat. We'll ride the Tennessee River this weekend. The wives and the kids will love it. It's beautiful. You're quiet.
Long day.
Missing home?
No. Oh!
Don't you find this town enchanting? The Whedon House. You'll be on the 2nd floor. Hoelzer can help you build on the land we secured on the mountain. I prefer to live in town. Up the road is the library. Rudolph asked me to speak there tomorrow to recruit more engineers, but with my schedule.
It's a good idea.
I love a good volunteer.
But I
They'll
didn't.
expect you at 6.
So in essence, we're hiring engineers interested in space travel. Our team at Redstone Arsenal is growing, and we'd love you to join us. Questions?
You're one of the German scientists?
I am one of the rocket designers working under
Von Braun.
Yes, I'm one of you Alabamians. Now that times have changed.
Have they?
As a German, I am sorry. I'm ashamed for what my country did to the Jewish people.
Look out for an application for me.
You're from Huntsville?
Served in the army, came back home.
Cool.
Saul Weissman.
Dress code. Careful. That's the president's tie.
You stole it?
His Secret Service gave it to me when I was late for a meet. You look good.
I look like you. You clean up nice.
Shh. At least I didn't steal a tie.
Shut up! You already talked all the way through Davy Crockett and the River Pirates.
What's Man in Space?
It was on ABC a month before you came. Who knew we'd see it on the big screen?
Man in Space! And now Mr. Walt Disney. Damn.
How did Wernher make this happen?
Without a satellite to take pictures, viewers don't know what space looks like. Disney and his animators saw Wernher's articles and the sci-fi illustrations of space travel.
So they flew Wernher out to Hollywood to help create Tomorrowland. Be quiet.
Now we call along one of our foremost experts of space travel, Dr. Braun.
Oh,
That's our
boss.
My hero.
Fancy pants.
So, I invited you all to tonight's screening because I could use a little help for the next part of the series.
Series.
2 more parts. Man in the Moon, Mars and Beyond. All Walt's idea. It'll feature our whole team at work. If you're in,
Wow, we're
I'm in.
movie stars now.
I'll send the mouse. How's that for predicting the future, Koelle?
You're selling it.
That's right. That's right.
For Friday Design Meet. Look alive.
If the propulsion.
Yeah.
Considering weight and trajectory.
Ding. The day ends, the wives wait.
Honey, you're happy?
You're pissed.
I have no freaking clue.
My day? I can't tell you, sweetheart. It's secret.
In the history books, April 15th, 1955, the rocket men gather at Huntsville High, 103 German families.
I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty.
I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. I will bear arms on behalf of the United States, and I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by law.
I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God.
Please welcome our Germans, or as we call them, our new Americans.
Announcement from Eisenhower.
We have made a decision about who will launch our first satellite. The choice was between Army's orbiter, led by Wernher von Braun and his team, or the Navy's Vanguard, and we've selected
They're gonna be order.
Vanguard! Congratulations to the Navy Research Laboratory, who will create America's first satellite launched from Cape Canaveral.
Why did we think citizenship would matter? We don't think the president could have let the first satellite in space be sent up by you, the inventor of the V2 with a German accent. What would that look like, Wernher?
They're jealous of you. They are.
Orbiter dead in the water because we're popular? They're children.
We will get the contract.
They just gave it to someone else.
They'll lose it. They don't test like we do. We catch our mistakes. We test until we find every mistake. That's not the American system.
The American engineers, they won't do that. They won't.
We're Americans, but we don't think like them. They don't calculate. To win, we wait for them to fail. We'll adapt orbiter. We keep working. We don't tell them.
Keep it secret. The Jupiter C rockets have worked well in the nose cone reentry tests.
We'll make that into a Juno 1 rocket for the adapted orbiter.
Wait, we can't call it orbiter. That project's dead. What do we call this new satellite?
Put down something. We'll figure it out later.
Explorer.
Get me the schedule for the testing site. We'll double our efforts in secret. Library.
Big stack you got there.
Oh,
Joking.
hey, hi.
Saul.
Yes, the engineer.
The engineer recruitment night. Hired! 2 years in and going strong, like you.
Can't believe we haven't seen each other yet. You should come visit us on the 6th floor.
I can barely get off the technical and engineering division on the 9th floor.
There's not enough time.
Half the time I run out of the house without lunch. My wife, you know every detail of every valve of every rocket sent into space, and you would run out naked if I didn't lay out your pants. Oh, did you see?
We have a company newsletter?
You're in there.
Really?
I saved it. They announced your arrival from overseas. There's your name, right next to the final score for the gyro stabilizer bowling league. Heinz Hermann Koelle's favorite Huntsville spots include the local library, Married with Children.
Guilty? You?
Twins, I do not sleep. This isn't the only library in town.
You mean on Winston Street?
The Library for Negro Citizens. The signs. You see them.
It's 1957.
This town presents itself one way, but there are other ways. Huntsville is in Alabama. It's Rocket City, but it's also Alabama.
It all still feels new. Rockets.
Rockets. What we choose to do is for our children and this planet with the way it's going.
Not every engineer talks the way you do.
I wrote poetry before the war.
Yeah?
Growing up as a teenager in the Depression, in Huntsville, I had to fill the time somehow. Photographs and poetry. I know, what am I, Allen Ginsberg?
Were you any good?
Night, the moon. A wolf waits inside my throat. It waits. I howl.
I write too.
Published?
Published. A few technical books.
Are your books here?
It makes me feel embarrassed, but yes. They're all checked out.
Project Mars. No wars, no dictators, peace. You helped Wernher get it published. He doesn't thank you.
He's a busy guy.
Sorry about your satellite orbiter losing to the Navy. Must be a blow to your team.
We have a plan.
That's what this stack is for? I get it. Secrets.
The rocket men always have a plan.
And you?
I'm part of the team.
The rocket men all worked at the rocket testing site of Peenemünde. They came over with Operation Paperclip, but you...
I never worked on the V2 rockets. In the last year of the war, I was shot down, put in a prisoner of war camp in the States. They sent me back, but this project brought me back here.
I'm not just here to make rockets.
What could be more important than rockets?
My maternal grandparents were gassed. I signed up to fight for them.
I believe in progress and in the truth. I believe both those things can exist.
What does it feel like?
Feel like?
Your boss being a Nazi.
I have to go.
Over 6 million Jews lost. The war's colossal damage, 75 million and counting.
The war is over.
The tech.
What do you mean?
It wasn't just the V2 technology they kept secret until they brought it here. It's how they were built.
Rocket men were forced to use their expertise or they'd be killed.
The V2 rockets were assembled in 6 secret locations.
Peenemünde.
Zeppelin works.
The cement tunnels.
We do zip.
Dora.
Those rocket building sites were not concentration camps. This is over.
In the dark, prisoners forced to build 6,000 rockets.
I have to go.
In the dark, never seeing the sky. It wasn't even a camp. They were housed in tunnels. 60,000 went in.
Please.
20,000 died. 200 of them were killed because they tried to sabotage the machinery. Hung from the cranes they used to make rockets.
This has nothing to do with us.
Army Infantry 104. My troop liberated the camp of Dora. I saw how the rockets were made. I saw. I was there, Koelle. I was there.
Lights up on Mrazek, Hoelzer, and BB testing rockets in the field.
It's your fault. Your nose cone couldn't be heavier.
Seriously, your calculations for the high-power transmitter are a joke.
Excuse me. Were you interviewed by Scientific Weekly? I haven't either, but I will because I have been filling containers with propellant and shooting them off in my backyard since I was 9 years old. So I know what a rocket motor needs to run. It doesn't need extra equipment.
You do need to lose weight.
Ah!
Willie, we all know you're a fighter, not a lover.
I fight for every detail to be right. All you care about is your computer.
Well, that computer is probably gonna replace you someday, so...
Yes, General, it's a shame. The satellite got shot. Kudos to you and the Navy. Yes, we're just keeping busy, that's right.
They watch as a general passes by. BB turns to Mrazek.
Calm down. Reload it.
It would be easier if Koelle was here.
The younger generation, they actually use sick days.
Try again.
Stop. Martha called. The ladies' auxiliary are in a panic. Your propulsion engines are shaking all the windows on Main Street, breaking dishes. You're breaking all the china in Huntsville.
Good, again, go.
The library.
Hey,
I'm out sick.
so you come here?
Over there, terrible orders were given.
The American public may not know, but Wernher was an SS officer.
He would never be directly involved in anything like this unless forced to. You're wrong.
Okay,
How can you want to build rockets
I'm an expert at what I do.
and destroy their creator?
This is the time.
There are plenty of Jewish engineers working with us. None of them.
It's different with me.
Why?
I promised someone.
Who? Why now?
In DC, they have formed the Liberty Lobby. They litter the street with pamphlets denying the Holocaust. They deny.
Who could believe them?
They have over 1,000 members.
Our mission isn't about politics.
It's all politics. How are the kids?
My baby girl's crawling. You?
The twins are walking. Well, teetering.
What do you want from me?
Your rocket men hold private meetings. They must talk.
I won't jeopardize our work.
You don't have to. This is about collecting evidence for when the time is right.
Why should I trust you?
The gossip from my contacts at the Naval Office is that they'll launch their satellite by the end of the year. Your team has got 6 months to get your secret satellite together, but you didn't hear it from me.
What did you see in Dora?
The day I tell you is the day you cannot unsee.
Months later, night, Koelle enters the empty office that's decorated with 4th of July red, white, and blue banners.
Hey!
Hey, just came from Hoelzer's party. I'm headed up to the observatory.
On the 4th of July? It's a national holiday. Shouldn't you be with your wife?
Shouldn't you? Here, from Hoelzer's wife. She baked them herself.
Why do they look like they're bleeding?
She only had red food coloring. It's supposed to be the American flag.
On German pastries? Stolen. Jealous? I love
I
donuts.
hate donuts.
Wait, why are you packing all your things?
Koelle,
You're leaving?
the Armories offered me project director of Pershing. I had to take it. We can learn from those shoot and scoop missiles. I fly out tomorrow. I'm leaving. Happy?
Seriously? No,
I know you never liked me.
I never said that.
Okay.
Ugh,
What's wrong with you?
nothing.
These past few months, you've just been odder than usual. You aren't at the parties, you don't come out to lunch, you're quiet. I know why.
You do?
At your age, not everyone understands. Not every job gives you joy, even if you're making rockets. I ask for something, I get a groan. Wernher asks for something, and engineers happily skip down the hall. Sometimes he sends a case of champagne to the same engineers who made the mistake once it's corrected.
I don't know if I like Huntsville.
Does it matter?
This country is confusing.
What country isn't? Hoelzer got a call from the Klan at the party. Last night, his daughter went to the wrong movie theater. They threatened him.
But they're fine. Because we foreigners are treated better than Negro families who have lived here all their lives.
That has nothing to do with us. It was always the Americans and their rules. Hitler used the laws here for his plan over there.
So we've come from our war-torn country to step back in time? You've seen the signs, the violence, the segregation. We know what this leads to.
I see a lot of things, but you worry.
I was in Danzig when the Nazis took over. Don't you ever worry?
Rudolph hands him one Pepto-Bismol bottle, then another, then another.
Does this answer your question?
What's in the case? A telescope. Okay. We're stargazing now? Through the window?
What kind of lens do you think I have? I keep to the budget, but I'm not cheap for what is absolutely necessary. Well, smartass, since you like games so much, which constellation? Up there.
Der low. My father would take all these business trips to Berlin.
He took you to the observatory? Trip to our park?
Yes, where Einstein.
Gave his first lecture on the theory of relativity. Changed the world.
Did you go?
My brother Walter and I were stuck on our farm in Bremen until our father died that year. I see Orion.
And Mars, yes.
Explorer has to work. If it doesn't, the Americans won't respect us.
You're taking another job because you're worried. You're breaking up the team because you think we'll fail. Wernher won't let that happen.
You think you know Wernher. Wernher is a lot of things to a lot of people. He's evangelical now.
church every Sunday, calling God the great creator. He can change like that. You've seen it. That's why he's loved. Everyone says he saved them.
Is that what you think?
There was a me before Wernher and a me after. I know asking such questions is worthless.
You're worried.
I worked with him 25 years, but he listens more to you.
That's not.
It's true. I need you to keep Wernher on track. When he sweats, that's when you have to really step up. He says he's here for us, but the truth is, we're here for him. Keep him on track while I'm not leaving because Wernher will fail.
Then.
Wernher never loses. Wernher wins. With us.
I want us to win.
They call it a space race now. It's like being at war all over again. Look.
Saturn! Why can't we live on Saturn?
You like being married?
You?
My wife gets worried. She started weighing me every time I went to manage at the rocket sites.
Why?
I started at 200 pounds and I went down to 110.
The way the V2 rockets were assembled in the last year of the war, out of the 6 labor sections, there was one called Dora. I heard Wernher.
I was in charge of Dora. What did you hear?
Who built those rockets?
Are you asking me before I met Wernher, or are you asking the me before I met Wernher, or the me you know now?
Both.
Phoebe in a soul light waits by the phone, which rings, picks it up.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for thinking of me tonight, General. You approve. You approve. You got us the funding. Oh, yes, I know exactly how to use it. God, we'll do it.
What can be said about Dora, but rockets are designed by some men and they're built by others. The desk. It's yours if you want it.
Saul arrives at the library. Cruller crosses, drops a book on the table. Saul opens book and reads Cruller's note.
Rockets are designed by some men, built by others.
Phoebe gestures for Cruller to come to his office.
You wanted to speak to me?
Sit. I'm thinking about why.
Why what?
I had a meeting with Pershing today. Rudolph asked about you. He mentioned something that disturbs me. He told me you had questions about the labor stations building our rockets. Cruller?
I want to get us out of here. To get us out there, into space.
But here you can't let go of a past you were never a part of. Do you want us all deported?
No. I'd never to you.
Not me. Them. You. We'll never get out there if
No.
you are jeopardizing all we've done, all we're doing.
No, trust me.
Can I?
Phoebe's phone rings.
Yes, this is Wernher. Who? No, I told the London Times Ed Buckley is our press agent. What do you mean, what do I think of it? Think of what?
Phoebe knocks the rocket models off his desk.
My cousin from Vienna just called.
Yes.
The Russians, they launched their satellite. They're calling it Sputnik.
Oh God, no.
It's all over the television.
American press has just confirmed what we came to learn this afternoon is fact. The Soviets have surpassed America and the free world.
What are you all stopping for? Are you Americans or dirty Germans, huh? Pick that up now! Want your pitiful lives to mean anything? Find the problem! Present the damn solution! Versus do!
Wernher bursts into the officers' club.
Officers! Gentlemen, here you sit at the Redstone Arsenal Club, drinking your sorrows, but this is because of you, my team, my rocket men. We could have done it with our Redstone rocket 2 years ago. Your Vanguard, your satellite project will never make it. We have the hardware of the damn shell. For God's sake, turn us loose and let us do something. We're not the enemy. Not anymore. The Soviets have nothing except they are winning. And if someone wins, someone loses. Sir, when you get to Washington, you'll find all hell has broken loose. Tell them this. We can fire a satellite into orbit 60 days from the moment you give us the green light.
Make it 90 days, Wernher.
Fine. But I mean 60.
It takes a year. In the history books, December 1957, the Navy's Project Vanguard fails on national television.
Explodes.
Right on the launch pad.
The booster sucked.
Fuel tanks ruptured. Ugh.
But for von Braun's rocket men, January 1958, Explorer flies.
There's a huge crowd in the square. Come on, kid!
Crooner looks to BB's office, he scribbles a note, pins it to his door, throws on a coat, phone rings, he puts the call on speaker.
Mr. Koelle?
Yes?
My name is Frederick Hall. I'm calling you from East Berlin. It's crucial I speak to you.
Buckby is the press agent who handles all the communications here.
Mr. Buckby has not been helpful, but we will have no choice in the matter when Dr. von Braun is called into court.
Court?
Saul Weissman, an engineer at Redstone, mentioned you.
He gave you my name?
Mr. Weissman still has family in West Berlin. They put us in touch after he learned of an article in East Berlin that mentioned my work. He said you work closely with Dr. von Braun. I represent the Soviet bloc survivors of Dora. My clients, they have children.
I have to go.
Rockets are designed by some men, they're built by others. Didn't Arthur Rudolph say that to you?
I really have to go.
We have paperwork used in Dora, signed orders, letters requesting prisoners of war to work there from members of your team. From Wernher von Braun.
I know the complexity of being a prisoner of war.
Not just prisoners of war.
Those rocket building sites were not concentration camps.
We have just discovered in the last year of the war at Dora, they brought in from neighboring concentration camps women and children. Are you there? Did you know this? Did you know?
Note? What are we, kids now? We're on our way to the Red Planet now, Captain. You can trust me, partner.
Tonight,
This is what you and I dreamed of. No wars.
no dictators.
Mars. Expansion into space brings true equality. The first space station. The gateway to space exploration. Mars. I'll have to go to Washington and New York. Maria got her wish.
What?
The Four Seasons. I got us a reservation. Color outside. That crowd. At the diner, right on the corner, the waitress all beside their menus. A whole line, a whole staff.
Wernher, we have to talk.
I told the waitress, the crowd,
Wernher,
everyone who
please
gives me all the praise, I
listen
tell
to
them,
me.
we work as a team. You and me.
Wernher, I have to tell you.
I have to tell you. Project Horizon.
What?
That's what I'm calling it. We use Earth orbit rendezvous. We build it. We build your station in space, and we start building colonies in space.
Project Horizon.
I got the call weeks ago. I got the funding. I can use it as I choose. If we want to build the Juno rocket, we need a base. A lunar base on the moon. Then Mars. Right?
Right.
You and I, we have the green light. But you have to want it, pilot. I have to trust you, and you have to trust me, or... What did you want to tell me?
Wernher, where we go from here, the future, it has to be different. I have to.
I need to tell them your answer. I can't do this alone. This is you. BB to HHK. Hello.
1958, in the history books, an American citizen for just 3 years, Wernher von Braun makes Time Magazine's Man of the Year.
We can land on Mars within our lifetime. With overpopulation, food scarcity, we can create someplace safe for everyone.
You accept? We'll be busy. You won't have time to visit the library.
HHK to VB.
Project Horizon is given to rocket man Heinz Hermann Koelle. Work on Saturn V begins.
Braun rings the bell, the rocketmen take down the V2 rocket design to reveal Saturn V. It looks exactly the same. The ensemble turns and faces the banner and salutes. Part 2. Koelle and BB sans suits are on BB's boat on the Tennessee River.
Your turn.
Okay, 1983.
Well, After tomorrow's announcement, by that time, from here, we've already reached Mars in the late 60s.
Correct.
So, if we've set up your colonies there, and there's our space station, well, by then, I think maybe by the 80s, there'll be floating cities.
In the clouds? Sure. Yeah, I think I see them now. God, it is beautiful out here.
Rocketries and rivers and a beautiful partnership. Just wait till the fishermen look up to see rocket boosters flowing down the Tennessee River.
Hey, kids, not too far out.
Elizabeth and Maria have got them.
Okay, my turn. What year? Come on.
2020.
Obviously going to be a great year. By then, if we've gotten as far as Venus, then our ladies can set up their new home underwater.
Sea colonies, nice.
Right? Like Submariner, Aquaman, the Hulk.
Gamma rays affecting man's anatomy. Nonsense. You sound like Hoelzer. What?
We found it in the hallway. Must have slipped out of one of your notebooks.
God. Me and my little rocket to the moon. Food for 100 hours, oxygen for 120 hours, anti-glare glasses. I sent this cartoon to our mentor, Oberth, when I was 15. That's why Oberth put me in the Space Society for Space Travel. Hitler knew the loophole in the treaty after the First World War.
The Allies banned weapons, but never used the word rockets.
That day, I just showed up at our society's testing site, like each Thursday. But that Thursday, Oberth wasn't there. Instead, Hitler's generals were waiting for me at our rocket society, our testing site. They told me to go ahead. I shot up my rockets. They failed, but I guess it was impressive. I learned later that my mentor, Oberth, was asked to suggest to the Reich the best rocketeer. I was chosen, but I didn't choose. People judge all the time without knowing. They decide what clubs you belong to, or not. What I created couldn't be built without money. When the hand of power is offered to you, when you cannot build what you want without that hand, when you need what that hand offers you or you would die, you don't ask.
Why? My citizenship. It's gone through.
Congrats, American.
God, Wernher.
Whose turn is it? The game.
Me. Tomorrow, April 9th.
America. Meet our little men who are going to change the world.
Phoebe slides on sunglasses, lights rise in the upgraded office, the men are at work, even their suits are shinier.
1959.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet your Mercury astronauts.
Listen, I just told my wife that's what I want to do. And my wife said, if that's what I want to do, she is behind it 120%. We don't ever have any trouble at home. We are all in complete agreement. Well, as if that's what I can tell my wife.
Never underestimate what a pretty face can do for you.
Astronauts.
Perfect Adonises.
So, we don't have the muscles? We send those astronauts up first, then us.
People are paying attention. My cousin in Finland just subscribed to Life magazine. If only I was famous enough to get an exclusive deal with Life magazine.
And Chevy Corvettes with General Motors.
Propaganda! Yay!
And according to this propaganda, our Adonis men train, their women cook, we rocket men design.
Hey, at least Ike separated us from the military.
Wernher pushed it through.
Oh, you should hear my kid. Daddy, you work for NASA? What's NASA, Dad?
But have you noticed, Wernher has not mentioned any destination. We're just announced we're training men. We just announced we're training men to go into space. But where are we going?
Favor is with us now, but if we get Nixon after Eisenhower, next year, an election year.
Oh, sorry I'm late. It's a mob of press outside. It's impossible to ignore the New York Times, but a man has to get back to work,
Celebrity
right?
has to get back to work, sure.
Who left their coffee on my desk? Why are people always leaving their coffee on my desk?
You are
God.
like highly dramatic, you know that?
Oh, the prodigal son returns.
After Explorer, it's clear you need me here. I knew Vanguard wouldn't last and the Navy would fail. Solid propellants, please. We're strictly liquid men.
Announcements. As part of NASA, anyone in Operation Paperclip finally has access to all classified documents. We are a new space program. We're no longer military men. We can be what we are, scientists. Woo! So, roll call. Now that we're official, titles are in order. Director of Structures and Mechanic Division, Mrazek. Hoelzer, Director, Computing Division. Assistant Director of Engineering, serving as liaison between here and Houston, Rudolph. And please join me in giving a hearty congratulations to our Mr. Director of the Future Projects Office, Mr. Heinz Hermann Koelle.
That mail boy, always getting deliveries wrong. It's for you, Koelle.
The library.
Hey, look who's paying me a visit. In what, a year?
You're sending me packages? After what you did to me?
What did I do to you?
You gave an outsider my name. An East German lawyer investigating my boss. You gave him my name. Why? You don't care what happens to me, my family?
Because exposing him is part of choosing our future.
Do you really believe he and the team used women from concentration camps? That he made that call? If so, you don't know him. I have to go.
Because of your promotion?
Wernher might have made mistakes, but he revolted in his way. He was arrested by the SS for revealing he wanted to create the V1 and V2 rockets for space travel.
He's told you a lot of stories.
He trusts me.
Yeah, and what's that like?
Your view of the war? Hiroshima, Nagasaki, you're Oppenheimer? A killer. Your captains ordered death, dropped bombs on cities that were burning, on flesh that was melting.
After the Nuremberg trials, now, right now in your country, people, young like us, they demand the truth. They don't want to forget, they want to save their country, don't you?
You want the impossible. We need to move on, but if you won't forget...
Forget? Koelle, look at what is happening around us now in this country. You won't even join me at the sit-ins.
I can't get arrested. I have to work. My wife, my kids. Do you think if I get fired, I stay here? We have to act now. If we don't, Russia will dominate the space race. We'll be pushed out. We need to concentrate on winning.
But for once in this country, I'd like to win the right way.
There is no right way.
Very American.
Wernher is not a monster. He's done what he had to do to not hate himself. Because once you let that in,
He swallowed that, and it's become a wolf inside him.
swallowed.
His shame.
Saul hands Kruller a book.
Geheimnis von Huntsville.
Mystery of Huntsville. An advanced copy.
It's in German.
I know the word Dora. They write all about it, and did you see?
It has...
Your boss wants to talk about glory days. But what he leaves out of his history books we have right here is SS paperwork. It also names Rudolph as deciding to use the prisoners as labor. They decided together. I know you won't, that you've chosen him. And maybe you're right, maybe. So give him a chance. If he's your friend, Koelle, what will he say? You want to hold both things in your hand. Possible war criminal and confidant. Is it possible? We'll stay to our different floors. I'll have our engineering teams mark up anything you need on Project Horizon. Congratulations.
So,
The office. It's November, early morning.
We should.
Do not put on that television.
what's he doing?
Praying, you think the Republicans are gonna go quietly?
The phone rings. Mrazek answers, starts jumping up and down.
Well,
It's a miracle.
I knew it. The minute I met that boy at the Time magazine office.
Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me.
Week after week, whatever we do, the Russians repeat.
We're evenly matched.
What are we training these astronauts for, Wernher? We need to announce something, an acute, fast goal, something they can see, an event.
The moon.
Very Buck Rogers, sure. The moon, why not?
As long as we use Project Horizon to go beyond the moon to Mars, that's the whole point. Our announcement needs to state a larger mission.
The moon it is. Ha! Great minds think alike. A letter, straight from your man JFK, now 1961's Man of the Year. Our Johnny boy wants my take on his memo to the vice president about the space race. He wants my answers to his questions in writing. Read it.
Do we have a chance of beating the Soviets by putting a laboratory in space, or by a trip to the moon, or by a rocket to land on the moon, or by a rocket to go to the moon and back with a man? Are we working 24 hours a day on this?
No.
Why not?
To be honest, Mr. President, until now the government hasn't placed as much importance on space exploration as you do.
They're cheap.
Truth.
Follow-up question. In building large boosters, should we put our emphasis on nuclear, chemical, or liquid fuel?
This guy knows his stuff.
Americans, how did they get reliant on solid propellants?
He really gets it.
Liquid is always the answer!
No. Asking for a 70-90 system.
We're asking for computers now?
Summing up, it is my belief we have a sporting chance of beating the Soviets to a soft landing of a radio transmitter station on the moon by early 1962 if you give us what we need. Mr. President. Looks like we have a new friend. Our Johnny Boy's planning a speech to give to Congress about going to the moon.
Woo! In the history books, June 7th, 1962, while JFK gives a talk on taxes and inflation in Washington, Wernher von Braun stands up at a NASA committee in Huntsville to announce that after 7 years of his office preparing for Earth orbit rendezvous as the method to land on the moon, he has instead chosen lunar orbit rendezvous.
Oh my God, what is happening? Oh no.
He had not told his own team.
Jesus.
They discovered by watching a live broadcast.
How can Wernher do this?
He didn't
even discuss it, but how
with us
could
at
he?
all.
Calm down.
Rudolph, did you know?
A general in the Navy went to Wernher and convinced him.
The landing Wernher picked means we can't bring out an equipment to build a space station.
We will get to the moon, and that's it. We do this trick to get back out there. We have to start all over again. Full space station, it's fucked.
We aren't starting a presence in space, it's
A publicity stunt. We go up there and what? Look for moon rocks? Project Horizon is about building colonies, but we won't be able to build anything of merit if we can't build a space station. We'll never get to Mars. We'll never go beyond.
You can't do this.
It'll take 10 more years at least.
Stop! Quiet. I don't make speeches. I don't have beautiful glistening hair. I'm not young, and to some, I'm not kind. But my greatest achievement is I advise on what works and what doesn't.
Tell him he's making a mistake.
That won't work.
Arthur, the whole point of this is to build a space program.
You think I don't want to go further? You think this old man doesn't wake up every day with the goal of us getting to Mars and beyond, which I have to face may not happen until I can hardly walk? I've given every rocket we've pushed the best of my years, and I know
Here we go.
the most important thing on any project is to keep moving forward no matter what. Wernher threw them a crumb.
What made it riskier for the astronauts?
He would never do that. He has his reasons and made his choice. I stand by it.
We always do.
Excuse me?
Wheeler picks up his phone that's been ringing.
Hello? Elizabeth, I can't right now.
This isn't right.
Have you ever known him to be wrong?
Right.
It's complicated.
Where are you going?
To the nearest bar. And before you say anything, number one, I haven't taken a sick day in 10 years, so I suddenly feel sick. Because number two, I hate to state the obvious, but we're all scrapping 7 years of work and starting over from scratch.
We have the plans for lunar orbit.
From a rival office.
Yeah, I'm still here. What's wrong? Don't wait up.
Cooler hangs up. Mrazek takes down many designs of Earth orbit rendezvous.
Koelle, you okay?
I'm lost, Mrazek. Everything I create, everything I make, it just got erased. I feel like I just got erased. Like I don't exist.
I'm sure Project Horizon will happen. Just give it time.
What time? I want to, in my lifetime. It's selfish, I know, but I want people to know.
Your name.
It doesn't matter.
You know, sometimes I play a game. I go to Halsey's Grocery downtown. People look at me in a certain way. They know me. In my little village in Flensburg, no one knew me. And here, in this little town, people say, oh, he's the German working on the rockets. But then, get this, we start talking about any major celebrity. Name one.
I don't know. Anne Margaret.
Right. And then I'll ask those people, do you know Anne Margaret? What movies of hers have you seen?
Okay.
And you know, according to a poll in Life magazine, only half know her name. Less than half have seen her in films or really know who I'm talking about when I say her name. And she's famous.
So that's supposed to make me...
So if that's happening now, and she's so famous, she's so known, in 100 years, who will know her name?
Okay.
I like Project Mars. I think you helped Wernher more than you let on. And I think it's a really cool book.
Well, thank you. That's so kind coming from you. A celebrity at Halsey's grocery store.
Firsts are important. If we make it, it may not be as you imagined, but it'll be.
Anne Margaret.
Who will know?
Much later that night, Kriller approaches VB alone in his office.
How is the drive back?
Long. Why is this country so obsessed with motor vehicles when they only sit in traffic?
What are you working on?
The edits of the latest American edition of Project Mars just arrived, but it's a disaster. This ghostwriter you suggested,
I know you might not like
I hate it. He suggested that I revise the book to have women on board.
I don't think that's an awful idea.
Oh, this is not about being feminist. These publishers don't want this for liberation or they want sex on the planets. How? With suits, air pressure, rocks. I mean,
Wernher.
Rudolph told you the news?
He did.
I've kept Project Horizon safe. I promise you, it'll just take more time.
It's not about the moon landing.
Then, a book. A very different book than Project Mars. Certainly not subtle, is it? A cover in blood red with a skull and my face. And I'm wearing charming.
It's an advanced copy.
I will have to tell Buckby. I could see women being on board with conditions.
You're not Wernher.
Good night, Color.
Afternoon next day.
Look alive, it's past noon. Doesn't your lunar module meet start at 3?
Oh, God.
If you're gonna sip Wernher's stash, water it down. Ah! Better than I hoped.
What am I looking at?
IBM 7090 makes 24,000 calculations per second.
So,
We're going twice as fast now. This is it. Wernher's got Johnny Boy in his back pocket. My computer, I've been working out how it can work not just for our rocket, in our rocket, like this.
a ring in Saturn V. This is amazing.
This calls for celebration.
This lecture, Chaelon Bennet.
The wife's family sent it for my Huntsville anniversary, 18 years.
Shouldn't we share with the group?
No, I'll eat it all. You're trustworthy.
And with this new booster design,
The Russians aren't far off with their boosters.
True. I heard it from my cousin in Latvia.
how many cousins do you have?
I don't know, 55? My mom's side was Catholic. What are you eating?
Nothing.
Okay. I am finishing up my paper on structural tests for your committee, Kriller, while on the phone with Boeing and the North American Aviation Division since 9 a.m. this morning, because all Americans do, apparently, is cut corners in this industry when we all know one teeny failure will set this program back years, but if you want to stuff your faces like rabbits...
You mean horses?
Or pigs?
Who cares what mammal?
Willie, where are you going?
I'm taking my break. Okay, where is it? Where's the restroom key? Hoelzer, you hit it.
I didn't.
Again, didn't you?
Paranoid.
Poor Mrazek. You shouldn't be so hard on him.
Ah, he loves a good fight. How else do you think he got that scar on his forehead?
I always wanted to ask.
Don't. It's not him I'm worried about.
What?
The East German book you showed Wernher.
You know.
We're a team. You threatened him, you threaten us. He'll fire you. You can only take so much. You watch. He'll come in here and say, we need to talk. And you'll have thrown away years of work for something that means nothing. You choose how you live your future. My daughter. Why are Americans sending troops to South Vietnam? I tell her the truth. We'll probably go to war in a couple of years. Why? I tell her someone always wants another war because someone couldn't let go. Crawler, let go.
Curler, we need to talk.
Quiller rises panicked. As he fired, all of the phones in the office suddenly start ringing.
The president's been shot. He won't make it. Wernher.
We must work as fast as we can, as our projects are in danger now, and we can't give them a reason to cancel Apollo.
Phoebe cries.
Maybe we should take today off.
I don't need to go home.
Home? What's home?
We work around the clock.
Hoelzer hands the rest of the chocolate bar to Mrazek. They work. Phoebe and Quiller move freely. They're working well together. Time passes.
Gemini, fine, already approved. Must lock down Apollo 8, Apollo 11.
Beatles, I Want to Hold Your Hand plays.
1964.
Office, the song is now coming from a small radio on Quiller's desk. As he listens, as he works, Saul enters.
Saul,
Where is everyone?
out for lunch. I'd say we should go out, but I'm on a deadline.
You always said I should come down and visit.
That was 4 years ago.
Yes.
We're close now.
You like the Beatles?
It's new, I guess.
I've always found them a bit much. Brits. That book from East Berlin is buried.
West Germany aligns with America. They'd have just as much to gain by
Squashing it? Yes. I hear they named streets after him now, here and there. You're right. Things do change. Look at the progress we're already making here. Finally, now. Alabama.
Did you hear? Wernher gave George Wallace a piece of his mind.
Yes. 1964. It'll be a good year. We'll make it. We both know what hard times are. The moon.
The moon.
Looks like 1969 is the year.
Yes.
Still teaching your students at Rudolph's observatory?
They've made it to the Von Braun Association now.
Yes. They say there was no symphony before he came here, but I'd been to the symphony as a boy.
Memory can be subjective.
I sent the story about Von Braun and Dora to every paper in town.
You.
My neighbors. Everyone in Huntsville. Denied Dora existed.
Oh.
A newspaper I sent the story to slid this under my door yesterday.
People can't believe a story like this right away. It takes time.
Enough time to get us up there.
It's your mission too.
But you hide the truth.
It isn't the time.
When? When is the time?
Saul.
I'm on my way out. I need a place that accepts me. You're Wernher. You. All the Germans accepted with open arms. I don't belong.
That's not true.
You asked if I hated Wernher. I never told you. Because there's a part of me that lives inside me, and if I let it out, it's like a wolf. A wolf will crawl out my throat. It will howl, it will scream, it will be the world.
Please.
When we arrived at the camp of Dora, it was so quiet. We thought it was deserted. We saw the cellar doors, went down. We saw a glint, an assembly line, rockets. There was no floor. Some were still alive. One girl, so young, no more than 17, delirious. Grabbed her and got her up, out. That girl, she said Wernher's name over and over until she died in my arms. At the library that night, you said you were sorry. Only you. You said you were sorry for what your country did to us. The rocket men have never. They have been here 20 years. You said it. I wanted to meet you. I wanted to work with you.
Saul.
The Russian prisoners in Dora, they sang a song. I still hear that song. When? In my nightmares. At Dora, I took these photos myself. It's difficult, but I thought if that's my hand, if that was my body, I want people to know, please, these are the women, Koelle. Every day, our wives take care of us. We work uninterrupted. Our daughters give us a reason to do what we do. But they're expendable, aren't they, Koelle?
That was then.
This is now. This is America. This is the world. You believe the answer is to fly away, go somewhere new, another planet. But if we go there, how can we not bring this? How will it be any different? How the rockets were made matter! Project Horizon. I overheard my manager.
What did he say? Saul, what did he say?
This is all you ever cared about.
Saul, please, what did he say?
Ask your friend.
Saul.
You want the future so badly? It doesn't happen unless you fight for it.
Saul grabs Koelle, hugs him tight, exits. Koelle holds Saul's notes and the photographs of the women in his hands. Koelle looks to Phoebe's empty office, searches the desk, finds several files. Phoebe catches him when he enters.
Thought you were at the Cape.
Got back this morning. Apollo renderings are due tomorrow. I'm just as under the gun as any of you. You needed something from my office?
I needed to.
What are you looking for, friend?
These memos. You've kept them from us. Project Horizon is being cut. Why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you tell me?
After Apollo, they're permanently inviting me to go to Washington. I'll get Project Horizon back.
When? Johnson has to deal with Vietnam. If Johnson doesn't run again, it'll be Nixon. And if it's Nixon, you said you've always seen the future, but you can't even see what's coming.
I'll be the most powerful man in Washington. That's all we need. We'll be able to get whatever we need. The moon, then Mars, then
How?
We built this program. There are thousands working here. Why would we have a lapse in space exploration after this?
Wernher, I want the truth. I need the truth.
I told you.
The labor stations, the 6 camps.
We've already discussed this.
No, you told a story. I think it's the story you tell yourself over and over again, but we never
ask your questions. Here we are, stranded on the red sands of Mars. Is this a takeover, Koelle?
No.
We good?
Why?
Why?
Dora, I got a call. I wanted to tell you.
When?
5 years ago. He was a lawyer.
What did you tell Buckby?
I don't care what he has to say. I care what you have to say.
What did you say?
I didn't.
What did you say?
An engineer and I have talked.
Saul
was there. He was liberated. He liberated Dora. From his contacts, he's verified what I've heard from the East German prosecutor. A court in Germany is preparing for a trial of SS officers. They will call you in.
Germany held their trial in 1947 at the site. They found their guilty SS officers.
But you were gone in 1945. Your files were sealed. Wernher, this new trial will reopen everything.
No. The Americans would never let me go back to Germany. The trial will happen here, but that lawyer will never be granted a visa. I will give the same testimony I always have. The Americans know if anything about Operation Paperclip gets out, our program is over. No rockets, no explorations, no Apollo. Koelle.
You need to tell the truth. You need to address it.
Saul Weissman was let go yesterday. You listened to him, but I'm the one. I've always told you the truth, but you never listen.
Rockets are designed by some men. They're built by others.
My superiors made policy.
But you
not
and
me.
Rudolph approved it. In Dora, you used men from the French and Russian resistance fighters, Hungarian Jews, prisoners of war, which is illegal. Prisoners of war who could engineer, who could build, like me, Wernher. They ate, slept in tunnels, 60,000 went in, 20,000 died there, 200 of them were killed because they tried to sabotage the rockets. And coming here, I began to deny.
Speak.
Day after
One
day
more
here.
of this conspiracy, security will see you out, and you will never come back.
They say Rudolph watched 200 prisoners.
I will have you off this project.
Hung from the cranes used to make the rockets.
Lies!
Evidence! I was a prisoner of war. If I was at Dora, if I was a face in the dark, if you saw I had this ability, would it have been me?
I was arrested by the Gestapo for talking about space exploration. I was jailed
For 3 days. You got out. You're Prussian royalty. I'm from a family of nothing.
Phoebe rips Saul's photographs in two.
You have to tell the truth. To live, we need to make fiction of.
The reality is you expect too much, friend.
I expect better things, friend.
Didn't you get them? You have a suit. You have a car. You have a house. You have me. All I've done so we fit in. So we belong.
It's a lie.
We're American citizens, Crowler.
And the Americans will open the files. At some point, survivors will write stories.
You and I. We're neighbors.
The Americans can't protect you.
This is where we live.
The Americans said you had to keep quiet.
This is who we are.
But if you don't go on record.
You wouldn't hurt me or this program.
No. I was offered a position as a professor in Berlin. I'll take it.
You'd go back. You could make history. When you could do what you were born to do. I worked like hell to bring you here.
Wernher, please.
You wanted to make rockets? We made rockets. Who made that happen? Who made all of this happen, Krilla? Because you benefit.
Just admit it, for the community, for the project, for this. You're sorry. You are Wernher. People died, families.
I am not the one dropping bombs in the jungle. Killing children with poison, following one president or another, country to country. Do you think there's a difference? I won't betray my team.
And how long can you protect them?
My team needs me.
Wernher, understanding the universe means you understand you're not the center of
I gave
it.
you everything. I saved you.
I saved myself, Wernher.
Get out.
In the last year of Dora, you brought in women and children from concentration camps. Women, mothers, like our daughters, Phoebe. Where is your shame? You buried it so far inside you. You swallowed it where no one can see. Where is it? Where is your shame?
Your resignation is accepted. Sad. Announcement. Project Horizon has been cut. So, Mr. Heinz Hermann Koelle has decided to move on.
Carter.
Don't
Kid.
get us to the moon.
Kriller exits.
Drawings for Apollo are due at noon.
In the history books, 1965, America declares war on Vietnam. In the history books, 1967, during a launch test, a fire breaks out and kills 3 astronauts. In the history books, January 1969, Apollo 8. In the history books, Saturn V is ready. July 20th, 1969, Apollo 11 takes flight. Wernher sees off the launch from the Cape, and when he returns,
Cheers in the square of Huntsville.
Rocket City.
We've landed on the moon.
We won.
We won.
We did it.
We did it.
1 month after our historic moon landing, August 1969, a final phone call.
Kriller, can you hear me? Don't hang up. This morning I met with Vice President Agnew. He said he'd endorse Mars as his next goal. I pushed Project Horizon. I did a whole presentation. I couldn't make them see. I want you to know I tried. Kriller.
Wernher, there is so much capacity in the world to change, to listen. My students, my children, I teach them.
After we got to the moon, they gave the Rocket Man medals and
What is in our history books
they laid us off.
and what isn't.
The office shuts down. We were in the midst of Vietnam.
Wernher moved to Washington.
But when he got there, the general who invited him left.
BB to HHK.
His allies were gone.
Officers would see him coming down the hall, and they'd go the other way.
HHK to VB?
It had nothing to do with his past.
It had to do with his future.
Americans didn't care about it. They didn't care about space exploration anymore.
I've got 2 o'clock. What tie should I wear?
The president's tie, of course.
Heinz.
We make the future today.
No wars.
No dictators.
Mars.
Phoebe looks out, the office is empty.
Wernher, this time, it's your choice now. Admit how the rockets were made. Who?
Till next time, Curler.
Phoebe hangs up, opens a box on his desk, takes out Saul's photos of Dora taped together. Friend enters.
10 minutes to launch.
Please, please, please give me time. Friend.
Wernher von Braun dies of cancer in Alexandria, Virginia on June 16, 1977. Not in the history books. The labor camp of Dora.
Friend pulls back the white presentation back wall, revealing what is behind it. Friend exits, but VB cannot follow because VB turns to face Dora. The V2 poster hung in the center of the office throughout the whole play is revealed to be what it was, an instructional poster indoor to instruct laborers. The bell rung throughout the play is revealed to be what it was, the aggressive timekeeper for a horrifying assembly line making V2 rockets. The actors, once playing the Rocketmen, strip, unpin their hair, becoming the female workers in the camp. They put on blue and white striped uniforms as they hum Old Comrades. Bell rings.
Roll call. Old comrades on march through the country, holding a friendship faithful and true. Whether in need or in great danger, always together, they hold all anew.
During an attack, we will give blow for blow. Glory and honor bring us victory. Come, comrades, fresh and supplied. This is our marching music.
Laughing, joking today. Yes, today, unknown tomorrow, is the whole regiment's fate and its fortune. That, comrades, is the war's bitter lot. So take the glass in hand and say cheers.
Even if we're old, the heart does stay young. Let's all revel in the memories.
Friend is entered dressed as who she was the whole time, a female prisoner that VB speaks to.
Drink up and pour around and let's be all old comrades. Old friends.
Friend.
You know I'm not your friend. It's not you that worked for them. It's not you had us do this and we died and there is blood for this. It's that the Americans bought it and the Americans went to the moon and built on this. It's not just you. That you sold it to them, but you can't forget me. Not this girl. You carry me with you.
Yes.
But now it ends.
Yes.
You remember. So, what's my name? What is my name?
91959. It was you or me. It was you or me. I had no choice. It was you or me.
On one of your inspections, you stopped. You saw I had ability. I was an engineer. You called me friend. You always said you wanted a daughter. You asked me to assist you. We talked about space. At night, I imagined I was no longer trapped. I was what stars are made of. But one day you left. You left me there. So I helped the revolution to sabotage the rockets. They didn't know it was me. Rudolph hanged my friends by the cranes we used to make the rockets. When the Germans fled, I lived until the day the Americans came to liberate us. A man dug me out. I saw the sun, the sky. I died in a stranger's arms, and all I could say was your name. I was a part of your team. We were a part of your team, but we didn't choose, and we weren't saved. Who gets to be remembered? Who gets to be named? Your name is what goes down.
It was you or me. It was you or me.
Now one can pay to go up there, or can be chosen for missions. I have a question. When we pick who goes, who ascends, who do we pick? Who are the names who will be allowed to live?
Friend gestures, the names of those who perished in Dora appear on the back wall. After several minutes, the names still scroll, but Friend points at her name.
Nikki Kramer.
How did it happen?
The world trusted me because
You're a winner.
You are not forgiven.
Phoebe is stripped of their suit.
How the rockets were made matters.
The ensemble dresses Vicky into space gear.
Countdown begins.
no wars.
No dictators?
3,
2, 1, 0.
Ensemble disappears. We and Nikki ascend. Cole's drawings appear. It's Mars. The red sands move around us. The future is now. Nikki holds out their hand to us.
Welcome to Mars.
Blackout. End of play.